Keep your radio dial right here. You're locked into the hottest news station on the planet. Hot 702.5 in FM sound. Blazing today's hip-hop, R&B, and pop music. Keeping your radio on fire. Bringing you the hottest, realest, riskiest talk shows live 24/7 on hot7025fm.com.
Yo.
Hi. Hey.
What's up?
All your favorite artists.
Check it out. Say my name.
DJ Khaled.
This is Mila J.
Bruno Mars.
On hot7025fm.com.
Hi.
Hey. What's up?
All your favorite artists.
Check it out. Say my name.
DJ Khaled.
This is Mila J.
Bruno Mars.
On hot7025fm.com.
What's up? Welcome back to me, man. Been a week off. I was out last week on injured reserve. More on that a little bit later on, but welcome back to the Comedy Cypher on Hot 7025 FM with your host, me, Ardie Hollingsworth, comedian Ardie Hollingsworth, Black 11 Entertainment. I'm joined again by my better half. Hopefully we can finish the conversation on leveling up that in 2024 that we started at the top of the year. We almost a month in. It's the 27th, and we have yet to finish this conversation. And by Big E, pushing buttons behind the board.
I'm trying to.
You're trying to. Big E, you succeeding. That's what you're doing, Big E. We were off last week. Let me tell you something, Saints. What happened to me last week? And Big E, in case you was bothering me, teasing me just a second ago. I had a bout of rheumatoid arthritis that was just like out of control. I felt like I got shot in the wrist like 19 times. I felt like Tupac. Had to go get myself checked out. Looks like a little arthritic flare up. My hands was Sherman Clump size. You know what I'm saying? It was double the size. I felt like I was at that table at the Clumps table. I had them big hands. You know how people be on heroin? He had them big hands.
No.
Them big heroin hands, like their blood pressure too high. Y'all, I'm just by myself on this island?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I had the big hands, Saints. And thanks to my doctor, got a little treatment, got a little pain medication, got a little anti-inflammatories, been drinking some cherry juice, celery juice, all of that stuff that's supposed to be anti-inflammatory. Got my hand where I can flex it a little bit now, so I'm back to being able to slap the shit out of somebody upon request. If you need me, my right hand is active.
How do you get better and resort to violence?
Because that's just how I'm raised on the east side of Detroit. That's what we do. All right. So we're going to continue our conversation. We hopefully get into it today. We got two more topics to cover in our conversation on leveling up in 2024. But before we get into that, you know, I always got to give you my opinion on things that's going on in the culture and things that I've seen. Some things I like, some things I don't like. So over the past couple weeks, some of the things I like. Shout out to my daughter. We officially have a teenager in our house. How does that make you feel? Woman? Old, yes. We were looking at Throwback Thursday pictures the other day. We've been together 27-something years or whatever.
Something like that.
Yeah, and we were looking at pictures, man, and I think I posted a picture from way back, like 20 years ago. I was in the big closed era, the early 2000s. We were young pups. We didn't have kids. Now we got a teenager in the household, 13-year-old. Y'all almost wear the same size shoe. Y'all almost the same height. She talking big and just a lovely person, though. You've done a good job as her mother. I just want to congratulate you on that.
Thank you.
You've done an excellent job.
I try.
You've done an exceptional job with both her and our second daughter, Parker, man. And we had a great time celebrating her birthday. Got her all the things that she wanted on her birthday list. Took her out to a little staycation. We had a great time as a family, just up eating wings and talking shit and watching movies. Just hanging out, having a good time. So did you enjoy the birthday celebration?
I did. You know, I got a lot of texts from people, and I see this a lot. As soon as a kid turns into a teenager at 13, people say, like, now parenting starts, and they talk about how they start talking back or they get attitudes, and I don't think Cam is like that. at all.
No, I think it's a foundational thing. We talked about this before. We had conversations about this, about parenting. I think we started doing the job as parents from night one. You're talking January 25th, 2011 at 11:17 when she was born. I think and even before that, we started preparing ourselves. We were a little bit later in life, if you will. When we had kids, we were already established as adults. I was 31, you were 30 at the time. So I think we had a higher level of maturity to us, even though we weren't parents. Yet we had a higher level of maturity, which helps us transition a little bit better into parenthood. And I remember those classes we used to take. We took classes and just learned as much as we could. And I've always been in consultation with people that I respected, older people who have been there. I'm a big person about experience. So I've always, talked to my grandmother when my mother was alive and those types of things, and your mom. So we got a lot of great advice on parenting and had a lot of great examples of parenting. I had an exceptional mother, in my life. And then you had wonderful parents as well. So I think that helped with the transition.
I think that's part of it. And the fact that we're really open in the house where everybody's able to express how they feel.
Yeah.
They don't have to feel like they have to hold something inside or have secrets. Like, we're very open. We talk to each other about anything. And so it's good to know.
That helps to build a bond, too, between parent and child, too. I tell my girls, you'll never get in trouble by coming to me first. I don't care what it is. Come to me first. If you're ever in a situation where you need advice, you need counsel, you need somebody to hide the body for you, just come to me first. All right, we'll figure it out from there. Because despite, regardless of anybody that you encounter, a friend or whatnot, or family member or whoever in life, nobody's going to have your back like your parents, or nobody should have your back like your parents. I feel like, and it's funny how this has set this up. I want to shout out Cameron on her 13th birthday, but I also wanted to talk about something that's going on in the culture right now, something that's a story or incident that's kind of floating around in the media. Maybe y'all seen it, maybe you didn't, but it involves parenting, and we'll get to that in a second. But as I wrap up these thoughts on this, just with our household, and like you said, allowing them to express themselves and building that bond and building those relationships, I think those foundational relationships that you build at those early ages helps you with the transitional ages when they're growing into adulthood, when they're growing into young adulthood at the age of 13, and things can kind of get off the rails, because you want your child to be opinionated. I think you want your child to be expressive. You want your child to say, yes, I like this, no, I don't, because that's giving you insight into the type of person that they're going to grow into and be ultimately when they're out of your control and out of your, under your roof. So we definitely encourage that, but we encourage that within the bounds of respect. And I think the bounds of respect are built, and those parameters of respect are built between mother and daughters, father and child, whatnot, at those foundational levels. And I think it makes it a little bit easier as they're growing older. They know, like, hey, my mom and my dad has my back, but I can't cross the line with them in terms of how I express myself to them.
Agreed. Yeah, in respect, it goes both ways. I think for your child to respect you, you have to be able to give them the proper respect. There's a certain way I talk to our daughters. Like, I don't curse at them.
Right.
And in return, I don't expect them to curse at me, because that's not the proper way to have a conversation with anybody. If it's something you wouldn't do at work, then why would you, bring it home? So yeah, for sure.
That's a great point. That's funny you brought that up. I had that conversation with somebody a while back when I was saying, like, people will, like, it gets to the notion of relationship elasticity, where you have that leeway in those bounds with the people that you love, that folks will get way out of pocket with somebody that they're close to and be totally respectful to a complete stranger, especially when there's money or opportunity or whatnot involved. So it's funny that you brought that up with the thing about the boss and coworkers and whatnot, and how you would interact and act with people at work. But what struck me as strange this week, and maybe you've seen it, a little bit of it, and I try not to dive too far into things where I only got a clip or only saw a clip of something without the full context, but I think I've seen enough and dove into it enough to at least speak on the parts that I saw and just give some words of encouragement out there to some people, because I saw what I would describe as like ugly commentary, ugly scene between one of the comics in the game that I respect for being a funny dude, Corey Holcomb, was on his show, and he had his co-host and other folks in the studio with him, and he was talking about the interaction with him and his daughter, and he just was calling her B word, and then he said something that really struck me. He was like, you know, your mama ain't nothing, and I'm not cool with her, and that's why I really rock with her, and you just kind of snuck up on me, and I didn't want you anyway, type of thing. And I'm just started thinking about the child, like listening to him. And then the other thing that struck me as just hurtful and strange was that there was another lady in the room, and I think one other lady in the room, and some of his other guests, other men in the room, that nobody checked him. Nobody said, hey, bro, you wrong, or you out of pocket, or slow down. Or I didn't see anybody checking him on that. So it just struck me as strange, and it struck me as just a flaw in parenting. And I think about a child, like we're all children of somebody else. It was none of our decisions to be here. It was none of our decisions to come here. So I just feel like you have a responsibility. And then, I'm a Christian. I believe in God. So I believe like when you're a parent, it's God's greatest gift to you to allow you to be the earthly responsible party for one of his children. We're all children of God. So if God anoints you and allows you to become a parent, that's a huge responsibility. I always say that's the day I became a man, the day I became a parent, because I had someone to look out for, to watch over, to protect, to love, other than myself. And I felt a greater responsibility for my kids than I even do to myself, because again, it gets to the premise of they don't ask to be here. So when I see kids abused, neglected, talked down about, and it's always the parent, oh, your kids can't be your friends, and I'm this and I'm that, and it's so just woefully ignorant. Because when you get to the foundational point of that child did not ask to come here. All of us are a result of someone else's actions and someone else's decisions. And when we get here, we don't know nothing. Have you ever held a baby? You ever held that baby, Big E?
I have definitely held a baby.
Okay, you held some babies. Mm-hmm. Are babies smart people?
Sometimes.
You ever held a...
Sometimes these babies be like
babies be eating their hands. 57 years old. But what about this? I asked a question facetiously, but my point is, babies have to be taught. You have to be trained. You have to be. You have to learn some things, and that's what parenting steps is. So I just want to get you guys' thoughts on that, man. Just if you've seen it or if you didn't see it, those are my thoughts on it. I just pray for healing over all of those situations, and more so, my thoughts and prayers go out to that child. She's now an adult, a grown woman now, but again, still the child of a man who has obviously failed in his responsibility as a parent, because the relationship wouldn't be what it is at this point if, like we were talking about earlier, those foundational elements were taken care of when that young lady was a child. So
have you seen Corey's stand-up?
I have, and
I just went to see him not long ago at House of Blues.
Yeah, that's definitely his shtick. He's definitely shock, over the top, bitch, this, that. And I'm not even getting into the comedy portion of it, because as comedians are artists. I think comedy is art. So I always separate the art from the artist. I'm talking about the person.
That's not art.
What's that?
What him talking about his daughter? Because he did that bit.
Yeah.
In at the comedy show that I went to,
Mm-hmm.
and there were some parts that were funny. And then he talked about earthquake being the F word, and it was just
fat.
No. With the 2 G's.
Oh, well, he said that about earthquake.
He said it over and over and over and over and over.
I just think some comics, obviously, my brethren, are like broken individuals. We get some of our best comedy from broken people. So definitely there's some healing that needs to go on with a lot of these folks, not just him, but a lot of folks in the comedy game. They use comedy as therapy, or to use comedy as, a way to get things off of their chest. And sometimes it comes out in a very, very negative, off-putting way. I've seen it with, up close and personal with a lot of comics, on the scene, that their life issues spill over into their art. And it's hard. Again, it's the art and the artist. It's hard to totally separate. And I do it a lot myself. Like 99% of my jokes come from my life. I write my life, but I don't think I have those off-putting types of jokes because I don't have that like negative. I don't live that negative existence every day.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you don't put people down in your comedy. I think about Kevin Hart, like a lot of his stuff, especially his earlier stuff, was based on his family, like the Laugh in My Pain. So it can be funny, but when it's tasteless, nah.
Good word, tasteless. Yeah, off-putting, tasteless. Yeah. So you sat through that, and there were some cringe-worthy moments at the show. I'm gonna.
The whole show was cringy.
Oh damn, Corey.
but I mean, there were some parts that were super funny.
Yeah.
But
no, funny.
But he did talk about his kid's mom and his kid, and it was just weird.
Yeah.
And I just don't understand that. And I don't care what, let's say 50 Cent, right? He got a problem with one of his kids. Mm-hmm. He doesn't openly talk about that. He don't talk about the baby mama. It's just, hey, he's like, hey, you don't know what it is, so that's what it is.
So much more to life that you can talk about in your art than those types of things.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, let's pray for healing over that situation for all parties involved. The mom, the dad, and everybody. And there was a part that he brought up. This is the thing that just totally like struck me as strange. That he was talking about his back and forth with his mom. He was like, well, my mom even told me that, basically like telling me he was wrong. Someday you're going to need your child. And he says, well, if I ever needed her, I'm down bad. And I'm thinking to myself,
but it's mirrored behavior. He obviously didn't have that upbringing, or he destroyed it or something.
No, I think it's just the opposite. I think for him to even have that dialogue with his mom at this point at his age, he probably did have her nurturing over him. Why not?
Yeah, her, but not maybe not the other parent.
Not his father, right?
Yeah, so he doesn't know he doesn't know how to do that.
Yeah, but I didn't either.
I feel like when you don't have something, doesn't it make you want to be better for yours, or it makes you want
to? It definitely should. It definitely should, for sure.
It's cold and flu season or sinus season
Whatever
for y'all things. That's what I'm going on. We're going to Lysol the situation down here today. But no, I'm going to give y'all something very, very personal that I did. Growing up as a child whose father wasn't in the home, my father passed away. I was at his funeral. And towards the later stages in life, we got a little bit closer, but my father wasn't around for me. He wasn't there for me. He didn't help, raise me in a traditional sense. But I shout out my mom, and I thank God for my mom by always letting us know you have an earthly father and then you have a heavenly father. And whatever you don't get from your earthly father, you get in overabundance from your heavenly father. So she taught us how to grow and build our relationships one-on-one with God. And it definitely centered me in life. It helped me not to be angry, that I didn't have that earthly bond with my father. And shout out to my grandfather who filled a lot of those voids. And, I had positive male role models around me. So it helped definitely a lot. But one thing I said at my father's funeral, and this is before I had kids or anything like that, I actually thanked him. And I appreciated it because there's a variety of ways to learn some shit. And I said to myself that the day he passed away, the day we were at the funeral, I made a solemn vow to myself to be the best father I could be, because I never want my kids to experience the hurt and the pain and all of this shit that I went through. So I thanked him in advance. I didn't even have kids at the time. I didn't even know, were we married? I don't know. Yeah, we had just got married that year. Yeah, my father passed in September, and we got married back in May of that year. So yeah. And I thanked him for that. And I thank God for that experience because, as they say, God don't put things on you that you're not able to handle. So I feel like God put that on me to make me a better person. So my perspective, I had a wide angle perspective looking at that situation growing up. And I was excited to have a child. I was happy to build and grow a family because it allowed me to be the man that I would have wanted to have in my life for my kids. So I to your point, I 100% agree with you, but I think there's people who, mimic that or mirror that behavior, that negative behavior, and there's people that grow from it. Of
course, obviously. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But he ain't it.
Yeah.
He is definitely not that person.
He the mirror, not to see.
He has a lot. He has a lot of pain,
Yeah.
and a lot of things that he probably needs to address with a licensed therapist.
Absolutely. We talking about therapy again today.
Did you set your appointment?
He get a commission
He
every
did
time.
not.
Every time a black man
I
goes to
wish I
therapy,
did.
he get a
Man,
he get a gold
you know what?
coin.
Every time a black man goes to therapy, an angel gets his wings.
Oh, that's cool.
Like that.
That should be a good one. Every time a
waiting
black
for
man
you.
goes to
We waiting on
therapy,
you.
Mr. Hollingsworth.
angel gets his
We waiting.
wing. I go to therapy every day.
Oh my God!
Oh, here we go.
Shenanigans, because you already committed last, so we
I
can play.
did. I did. I go to therapy every day.
No,
though.
you know what?
At
These
least 3
shenanigans.
sessions with the licensed therapist.
Man, I'm good. I gotta find
The
somebody.
LCSW
I gotta
or
find
higher.
somebody
You
I'm
don't. I
comfortable
gave you.
with.
I didn't give you.
That's somebody you comfortable with.
That's not my therapist.
Okay, that's
But
somebody
I've
you gave me a recommendation. You
I
did.
gave you some solid.
I
And I
believe
love you
referral.
for that, E. Big E, you never change.
You know what? I won't.
Make the
Good.
call.
I mean, I'll grow.
Make the call.
But
Make the call.
All
not
right.
up, but
But we
you
need
can
some
just email.
healing
You don't
over
even
there.
have to call. Just email. Like, hey, I'm
Hey.
scared, but can I book an appointment?
No, I'm not scared at all.
Okay,
I
sounds
just
good.
don't feel. I don't feel like that. I need to take that.
But we do.
step
We
right
know
now.
you do.
We okay. If
We
you say so.
told you. 'Cause
Y'all
we're
out
the
here-
bosses.
Y'all out here hustling for therapists. Is what y'all doing?
I wish I
Y'all get a
would.
commission every time a black man go to therapy.
I you know
You
what?
get a Benz.
I get this extra little ding in my heart.
Well, ding.
When
That's
black
that
men
gold
go to
coin like
therapy.
Mario
I wish it was a gold coin. I wish I did get some residuals.
for therapy. No, I'm not against therapy at all. I think I've said that before. If you feel like you need to talk to somebody,
Yeah,
open
you
up,
do.
or somebody,
Everybody
definitely.
You need to
Talk
talk
to
to somebody
somebody.
and change your diet.
Yeah, I'm
We
changing
got
my
a lot
diet.
to do
I
in
know.
January.
You know what
It's
I
only a couple
did,
days
man?
left.
Listen, let me tell you. Going back to that, I changed my diet, and that's when this arthritis shit.
That
flared
is
up on
not
me.
no.
Give me the
You
meat.
can't tell me. You
Lies.
can't tell me you changed your diet, and we can go
I
back. We
swear
can go
to
back
you.
on your social media
Nah.
swear
and
to you.
confirm that is not the
That
case.
is the case.
It's
I changed my diet.
You
No.
can't change your diet for
No.
24 hours.
I
Like,
went out and I bought all the shit.
I was there.
Oh,
No.
We got fruits, vegetables.
We
all
got
types
the
of
stuff after.
No.
Well,
I got that before.
I was
You wore
there.
the blue cap today. The cap is capping.
Cap.
Stop it. It's not.
The
Y'all
cap
can
is
go
capping
back to
today.
social media because I chronicle a lot of things and I share.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about this. It's funny. People swear they know you from social media. They
Oh,
swear
for
they
sure.
know you.
We know
from
you. We
social
know
media.
you.
Y'all know a little bit about what I share, man. I could be out here, Pablo Escobar. Y'all don't know that.
We know you
Same.
eat good.
Yeah, I do eat good. I love food. I do eat good. I love food. I'm gonna continue to eat good, man. This
We don't want you to
this
eat
rabbit
good.
diet is
You
for
will.
the birds. I had a nurse one time. I stepped on the scale. We would go in at a nurse one time. She told me, she was like, "Yeah, you can stand and lose a few pounds." I'm like, shit, you too.
Damn it.
I'm here for something else, but my eyes are working perfectly.
This is what I have to deal with.
Yeah. Hey, listen, let me tell you something.
First of all,
People in glass houses, keep your hands in your pocket. That's all I'm saying. She just told me definitively, well, Mr. Hollingsworth, you can stand to lose a few pounds.
She's doing her job.
Yeah, I was doing mine too. She's a nurse, I'm a comedian. I bet y'all made her laugh.
but she was at work.
Yeah, I'm always at work. The world is a
The
stage.
shenanigans, I swear.
Y'all see what I got to deal with, Saints? All right, let's get into our discussion. Listen, we halfway into the show.
late.
No, we're not late. We're going to talk about leveling up. This is a great transition, great segue. So we got two topics that we need to explore in terms of leveling up. We got career and relationships. So we were talking about this as we started the year, how people make these New Year's resolutions. Did y'all hear
You
me
sure
smack?
did.
I just
I did
bad
it
bitched
earlier.
into the
You
microphone.
sure did. You sure did.
Did I just bad bitch into the microphone?
Bad bitches and skinny bitches all 2024.
I'm gonna start talking like this too.
Bad bitches and skinny bitches all
Oh,
2024.
E, you bring out
all
the bad.
you, Ardie.
It's you. E out here. I'm surrounded by all this estrogen. To my left and to my right is bringing out the
Mental
bad
health,
bitch in
hey,
me. Mental
hey,
health
hey.
bitch. You'll get you some therapy. bitch.
Right.
Yeah.
Lose a couple of pounds.
You
We
too.
outside.
Oh, I hate that I did that. Oh my God. This culture is getting me. All
Not
right,
the culture.
relationships and career. Which one we want to talk about first? Which one we want to dive into first? Relationships or career? 2024 leveling up.
Why are we talking about career?
Because people is broke these days. They want to level up in 2024.
We don't care about them.
We do care about people who want to strive for a better life and better career wise. We want to give them some tips, some strategies, some things to think about in terms of how to level up in 2024, your career. A lot of people are stuck in ruts.
You can go to eclassconsultinglv.com.
Look at somebody trying to plug themselves. I'm trying to give you this work for free. E out here trying to charge you.
Discovery meeting.
Jesus Christ. Capitalist.
Right,
See, she coming up in her
right.
career, but she want to leave you at the McDonald's.
Listen, we can all work something out.
Jesus Christ. So we're going to talk about career first. All right. So career changes. I just did it again. I just bad bitched into the microphone. I got to stop doing that. I don't know. Why am I smacking my lips? It's this orange sweater today I'm wearing.
It's the cap that you got
That's
on.
what it is. Got me smacking my lips. All right. So career. Let's say let me set a scenario for you guys. Let's say, for instance, you're mid-career or it's early career, starting out wherever you are, and you feel like you're stuck. You feel like you're stuck in like quicksand or stuck in mud at your current place of employment or in your current situation. What are some tips, strategies, things that people can do to help them kind of get out of that feeling of being stuck? I guess we'll start there.
How do you get out of feeling stuck?
Yeah, feeling stuck.
Leave.
Yeah, but that's not always an easy alternative. You know, people are only faithful as their options. So some people are stuck in a deadbeat job or a dead-end job or a current situation, a current job because they can't leave.
So I had a job. I had a career where I was.
What's the difference between job and career? Let's start.
I feel like a job is something.
I'm sorry, I asked you one question, stopped you, and asked you another one, but you're smart enough to deal with it.
Smack your lips again, and then we can start over.
All right, let's start with the difference. That's a great foundational question.
You didn't want to do that?
Yeah.
Smack your lips and start over? Okay.
This is why we can't get through topics. They always picking with me, Saints.
So I think
job or career, how would you define job?
I mean, I feel like a job is something that you just know that you're going to be in temporarily, whereas a career is something that's long term and you want some sort of growth with whatever company or whatever that is. So I was in a career at a Fortune 100 company as an executive, making no less than $25K a month. I was traveling, I was turning up, it was living my best life, easiest job I ever had. I say, you know what? I can't be the CEO of this company, and that's the next step. So
for you, right?
That was the only other option.
Gotcha. You are high enough on the food chain that the only place to go, you had to kill somebody.
And he wasn't gonna die.
Okay.
Okay. And he was a very nice man too.
Okay.
And a billionaire, right? So he had everything lined up. It was nothing. I couldn't cap that. The job I had was great.
So you decided to do what?
I said, you know what? I have to leave. I remember getting my paycheck one day. I remember getting a direct deposit email. And I said, dang, why do they pay me this much? And I was like, if they're paying me this much,
what's the next
how much they making off of me, right? So at that point, I decided to transition myself away from that job. So I said, okay, what am I going to do?
So let's pause there. So your desire to leave was purely financial?
My desire to leave had nothing to do with finances. I was balling out of control.
No, but what you said was like, why are they paying me this much? There must be another plateau that I'm not reaching.
Right, and I can't reach it here.
Right.
That was the problem. The problem was that I can't reach it here.
Right.
They're
so
gonna
let me go at it on my own.
Right. But at the same time, it was like, there's nothing else. There's no more growth for me either in this company. And if I went to another company, it's going to be the same thing. I'm going to be in the same level, at these other companies. So it wasn't going to be helpful to me.
So it was time for you to go at it on
It was time for me to do something different. And I didn't know what that was at that point until a lot of my friends kept on asking me for marketing and consulting information. They wanted to, hey, can you help me with this? I'm going to, start doing this and that. And that's when I started consulting.
And you was like, ooh, E-Class Consulting.
Exactly.
I like that.
What a lie.
That's right.
Exactly. And then I transitioned myself out. So I gave it was about 7 months. And my last day was January 31st of 2016. And after that, I got an office and I started,
set up your own shop on your own corner, huh?
I did.
See?
But I think that at that point it was it's just like, when you can leave and you can transition yourself, whatever that may mean for you. You may have a family with 5,000 children. I don't know, and a wife and 3 wives. I don't know what your life is like. But you can either quit today.
Yeah.
Or you can also transition yourself out. So whatever is better for you.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm a big advocate of mental health, and I am not here for being in a job that causes you to be that causes you to be stressed out every day. Just freaking quit. You can figure this shit out. Quit.
I like how you brought that into the simplistic.
Yep.
Just quit, but again, that's not always feasible.
We're not saying always, but if you're in a situation where it's causing you more mental health drainage than it is paying all of your bills, you can quickly find something else in a happier state.
We gotta quantify though.
When you're in a job, where you feel like you're just defeated, you can't even find another job. So that is why you have to kind of set yourself free and give yourself whatever it is. Go sell. I don't know what you got to do. That
is the ultimate.
Go do something.
That is the ultimate desirable decision point. But where it gets murky for a lot of people is that in between. How do you getting to that point where you're able to take that action of quitting, of moving on, of transitioning?
When always be looking.
When you go home. And you feel completely defeated because of the job that you just came from, quit. Okay, quit so that you can free yourself enough to find a job tomorrow.
Let me add some additional scenario situation.
I just gave 2. I just told you I just left a $200,000 job and transitioned myself for 7 months.
That's one part. I'm like, see, when we have these discussions, I love having these types of discussions because when we talk about statistics, there's the cluster and then there's the outlier. Not everybody's making $250,000 with probably some cash.
That's exactly my point.
With probably some.
That was exactly my point with transitioning. I still transition.
Yeah, I understand that. But what I'm saying is there are people who are living paycheck to paycheck, whose rent is due tomorrow, whose car is due tomorrow, which the domino effect of a loss of income will crumble other aspects of their life. So let's say, for instance, you're a single mom, right? You got 3 kids. It is the 27th. Your job stressing you the fuck out. You got bills due. You got all of this financial responsibility, which the job is the only source of income, right? So this is the majority of America, is what I'm talking about. Or the majority of people fall into these types of class-based scenarios. They can't just quit. It would be idiotic for them to just quit, and they
that's
have
what
to.
You think.
But what I'm saying is they have to put their mental health on the back burner.
But unfortunately,
in order to survive,
because their mental health has been on the back burner for so long, they cannot progress. That's the problem. The problem is that ideally, right? Okay, I'm gonna find another job, and then I'm gonna give my 2 weeks notice, and I'm gonna do this. And
why you got to give them the voice?
Yeah, I'm gonna do all of those things, right? But the reality is that if you are not in a mental state to help you find the next steps, it's not gonna be helpful. So this is what I would suggest. I would suggest you call 211 and then make sure you quit.
Okay.
Because
instantaneously, let's get your perspective on this.
No, I'm saying it's not going to be helpful if you don't have the right mindset in order to move forward. You're not going to move forward.
I think I 100% agree with you on both points.
I do. I never thought about it.
But what I'm saying is, I think they're two separate issues.
It's just like a relationship. Same thing. It's almost the same conversation. If he ain't shit, quit today.
That's much different because
it's not.
It's totally different. Career versus relationship.
A job. It's not. Unfortunately, it's not.
Okay. Well, here's how it can be different. If you're in a relationship with a man who's the sole provider of everything in your lifestyle, right? You have no job. You the wife or you the girlfriend. He's providing everything, but he's treating you like shit. He bringing the side chicks to the front door. His mom is here. You're getting totally disrespected, totally treated like shit. What's your alternative if you have nothing?
Call 211. Get the fuck out, ladies.
Call 211.
Man, whomever.
Pack your bag and leave.
Yes.
But
get out.
Okay, so my question to you is
because you're going to be stuck.
The scenario I just described with both relationships and career, where people stay. And they endure the bullshit.
They stay stagnant.
Yes, they stay and they endure the bullshit. My question is, do you understand
I
the
understand.
reason why they stay?
My parents
I'm
did
getting
it.
into the reasoning.
My parents did it. There's no way my mom wanted to work in a factory, an auto factory, for 30 plus years. But
Right.
she did it. And she did it because she had a family. That was the way to provide for her family. My father, the same way. He worked at a steel mill 30 plus years. Benefits, the money was there. There's a reason why. That's not what there's no way they grew up and said, oh, I want to do this for the rest of my life.
Right.
But that's what they did to support their family. So I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
That's all I was getting to, the understanding of the reason
But
why people.
I think that
do
too
what
is
they
an
do.
old school thought.
It's very old school.
Like
It is old school
and
mentality.
two, I probably for me,
Yeah.
I probably came from a stack of innovative grandparents who was like, fuck, graduated from college and was like, fuck this, we leaving, and came to Las Vegas.
Right.
So. And then, you know, ended up, my grandmother was the first social worker in the state of Nevada. You know, my grandfather ran juvenile courts. So they created other opportunities for
Yeah, there are
themselves
people
by
who-
saying, forget it.
who
And what
definitely-
they did was came here
Yeah.
and lived with a family member. They made a different
They
sacrifice.
made other sacrifices.
But
yeah.
I think
Yep.
that's like, even for them, they probably was a job that they stayed at for a while. Where they were like, you know what, this is not the best thing, but I need to take care of the family.
Right.
But I feel like now we could be a little bit more innovative now.
We do have additional opportunities now that were not afforded to us back in the day. And shout out to all of those people who took those steps back in the day to say fuck it and to get to where they wanted to be in life, to provide a better life for their children, grandchildren, offspring, whatnot, in the service and the lead as an example. But what I want to really get into the minutiae of people those people, again, I bring up this point of the talented 10th, and this is why I believe in the premise of what Du Bois was talking about. Those people are part of the talented 10th. They're going to be all right regardless. They're going to be okay regardless. There's just something in them. I'm talking about that other 90%. Again, I'm talking about the cluster and not the outlier. You know, if we held everybody in the NBA to a LeBron James or Michael Jordan standpoint, you would not
That's why
want to
y'all
watch
can't
it.
say that LeBron is the GOAT.
No, what I'm saying is to the standpoint that those guys who are of exceptional level of talent are able to put out there. If we held the rank and file player to that standard, the game would be unwatchable because you'd be like, these are a sea of bums. And it's not like they're a sea of bums. I'm talking about the 90%. They're not a sea of bums. They're just not of that exceptional level of that 10%. And so that way it's an apples to oranges comparison. We can't compare what those people do versus what these people have done. There's just something special in them. So I'm giving a shout out to the exceptional members of society, but also giving a
Call it what you want to call it.
exceptional members of society.
And then what?
But
And what's the other one's called?
Also giving a level
dumbasses.
of it's a level of understanding.
What is it? You dumbasses for
Yeah,
keeping
no, I'm
that
not
damn
calling
job
it
on.
that. A level of understanding
Oh, boy.
for people who are in a situation. And my question was, how do we help them? What tips, what strategies do you give these people besides just quit?
No,
you can't
I
tell
just
them
gave
thing
you.
on my-
I just gave you the strategy. I just told
said-
you the strategy was transition yourself out.
Yeah.
I transitioned myself.
So
into-
let's
out
get
of
into the
job.
weeds of transitioning. The
I
minutia.
gained clients.
Okay.
Right? Because I said my friends decided that they needed help with this.
Yeah.
So now I'm taking
That's
on
what I'm talking about.
consulting
Let's
clients.
get into that.
No.
What can we do?
But
What
I'm
are those
saying that
baby
there-
steps that
that's
people
not-
can do?
Listen.
Them baby steps
You're not
had them
listening.
there for a long time.
Y'all got to understand people. Y'all got to understand
This guy
people.
think boy.
I mean,
gotta
when you put on
understand
your
people.
professional hat, you worked in the
Yeah,
industry.
I've done this. I'm
Well,
asking
we
y'all.
wanna
I
know.
can give
Well,
you.
you the expert.
Done this.
I've
What?
done this.
You
You
done what?
the
I've done
expert.
this. I was
You
career
tell us.
counselor for 15 years.
That's what we want to hear.
So
from
why are you
Come on,
talking
career
to us
counselor?
then? Career counselor?
I want to give additional perspective. We're
Career
talking to the
counselor,
masses.
do you have a job?
I do. I have several jobs.
Do you work for someone else?
I do not. Not
Okay,
anymore.
how did you get to that point? And
Great question. So here's how I got to that point.
A slow transition.
No, it wasn't necessarily a
don't
slow
want to listen to
transition.
me.
It wasn't a slow transition. I've always wanted to own and operate my own businesses. Always, always, always. My entire life. I started out that way. I used to shovel snow, rake grass, cut grass, all of that stuff. I've always hustled for myself.
You sell Girl
And-
Scout cookies though.
I didn't sell Girl Scout cookies, but I sold newspapers. I was a Detroit newsboy. bag bottles at the corner store. I've always had an entrepreneurial focus, entrepreneurial
What kind
spirit.
of bottles? Like 40 ounces?
No, you used to get 10-cent deposits. So I was a bottle guy at the store at the age of 13. I told my daughter this story. I started working
never heard
at
that's
13.
Detroit shit. I ain't never heard of that before.
In some states, you
Oh,
get a
wait,
bottle
'cause
deposit.
Oh, the bottle
Yeah.
deposit.
The bottle
Yeah, because we
deposit.
didn't
Yeah.
have that on the West Coast.
So you had to have a
Until
young store
California.
guy that stocked the shelves, and I was a stock boy. I was a
Look
stock
at
boy. I
you.
stocked the shelves. I was 13, and you know how they gave me the job? I worked for these Arab guys on the store, corner store, and I was always one of the most respectful
Was the
kids.
last name Yaldo?
Nah, it wasn't.
It wasn't?
It was something else.
I'm still
I forget.
hearing a slow transition.
Well, I want to describe the story time. I'm gonna get to the point, but I was always one of the most respectful kids that went over and ran errands for my parents, grandparents, whatnot. My mom, my grandmother, and other neighborhood folks that would send me to the store, and they offered me the job one day and say, "Hey, we need a stock guy and a guy to manage the bottles." I made $3 an hour at the age of 13. I was able to bring a little money home, help out my mom, and those types of things. I was very proud of that, at an early age to earn and make my own money. So that really ingrained that focus in me of like going out and earning for yourself. And I've never asked anybody to give me anything. So that's always a foundational point. So that's why I was brought up that story. But the transition came when we started having kids, right? It was 31. I had a very, very, very great jobs. I've always had great jobs. Career counselor, employability skills trainer, director, assistant director of admissions at UNLV. I can go on and on and on. Regional vice president, only black
we have
regional
heard
vice
enough.
president.
Get
On and
to
on.
the transition, and we only got
But
12 minutes.
here's where I decided to transition. When I felt like I wasn't achieving my full potential working for someone else,
But when I say
then no, I told you I 100% agreed with your point. You didn't hear what I said about the transition.
Can you get to the
What I
step?
was saying was you were talking more from the outlier perspective. I'm talking about the cluster. That people have the desire, but they absolutely cannot just pull the plug and quit. That's where I give you a little pushback on. But and the reason I said that is I got to the same scenario for myself. I wanted to pull the plug. I wanted to rip the Band-Aid off. I wanted to make the transition, but I have a family. We have a mortgage. We have our kids in a great position. So what I did was try to do not the either or, but to your point that you were making, the both and, right? So and my wife is here. She can tell you this. I literally worked 20-hour days for 4 years in that transition phase. And it was a gradual transition, but it was me building my business in addition to working. But here's what I'm going to tell you, and you can attest to this. I damn near died.
Yep.
I damn near died. So when I say that you can't do that, or it's very difficult to do that, I'm talking from the experience of a person who did both and. And when you got a full-time job with full-time job responsibilities and they paying you high six figures, they ain't paying you just to be a pretty face. You got shit to do. You got to get out on the road. You got to travel. You got to meet with clients. You got to do all of this different type of shit. You got to close business. You got to grow that business. And still, in addition to growing your own business, it is very difficult. So that's why I tell you that to tell you this. But in terms of the transition, yes, that needs to happen. But I want us to dive a little bit more into the minutia of it. There's somebody out there listening, and they're really like, "Oh my God, this girl just said quit my job."
But okay, I'm trying to figure out how the woman with a single mom with 3 kids who's working a job that she hates, it's bad for her mental health. How is she supposed to make the same transition you just did? She can't.
That's what I said. Thanks for coming to my side of the fence and agreeing with me.
No,
you're
telling her to transition.
But where's the transition?
She cannot mentally do that. And if you go to therapy,
if you went to therapy, I damn near died.
If you went to therapy, you would understand what we're trying to say.
No, if y'all listen, y'all would understand what I was saying. You were saying, well, she should just quit. She should just stop.
What I'm saying,
and I'm saying it's impossible for her to do that because it's going to compound the other things that's going on in our life.
The reality is that the majority of us do have the capability to quit a job today and still be successful. Okay, but unfortunately, we have people who tell us that that's not the case. The problem is that some people cannot do both. And some people, for me, I think for a lot of my consulting clients, it was important for me to tell them, you know what? you do not have the ability to keep this full-time job and grow your business. So you gotta choose.
Yeah, you gotta
Impossible.
pick one. Yeah, and it gets to the point where you have to pick, and you have to. And I had to do that myself. I had to make those
choose.
sacrifices. Yeah,
because I was going to that job and I was working my business.
Yeah.
And
what I was giving you pushback on was you saying like the simplistic of they should just quit. And I'm saying that's not possible.
It is not. It may not be possible for everybody, but the reality is for most people, it is
when
actually
you say most,
possible.
Give me a percentage of most.
You always want some damn percentages.
Some percentages.
The reality is that if all three of us here, let's just say
we're exceptional. We're the talented 10th. We're not of the cluster. We're not of the cluster. So you gotta take us out of that. We're not of the cluster.
Listen,
I worked with the cluster. We're not of the cluster.
I have definitely had clients who have I have definitely had consulting clients who transitioned from corporate America jobs.
No, I'm not talking about corporate America. I'm talking about the person. You know, when we
listen to me. Let me finish my statement. Who have had corporate jobs, who had a whole family,
take corporate out of
kids.
Why?
McDonald's is corporate. What are we talking about here?
Corporate is the 10%. I'm talking about the 90%.
I'm
talking about the person that's an Amazon warehouse worker right now. That's not a corporation. Working for DoorDash.
Amazon is a corporation.
No, I'm talking about the hourly employees. I'm talking about the rank and file employees. Those are the folks that we need to help. Those are the people that need the most help.
And those are the people who probably need to quit today. And the reason why is because they are likely the people who are working during the time that they need to be somewhere else to interview for another job, or they need to be at a job fair, or they need to be they can't take that time, so you're going to have to create some sort of sacrifice. Like I said,
I'm sorry. So let's talk about that level of sacrifice.
Find all the tools and resources that you can in order to complete your transition.
How are they supposed to survive the transition?
Call 211.
Yeah,
How
do you quit?
To survive the transition when there's no income coming in?
Call 211.
Let me give you my strategies.
Why are you even after hours? Because it's all going to come back to yours anyway. Because none of ours are ever going to matter.
I didn't say it didn't matter. I'm just saying you're putting these people in a very difficult position.
No, I'm not. But the thing is, I'm not saying 100% of the people need to do this. No.
Okay.
I'm saying the reality is find a transition. But some of y'all asses need to quit today. That's the reality.
Y'all come down to Hot 7025 FM. You quit
I am hiring, actually.
E is hiring. She got a conference room. She's going to put you up here.
Listen.
It's going to be what if we showed it tomorrow? You showed it tomorrow. It's a sea of parking lot of people outside. He told me to quit. They all got their McDonald's shirts on.
First of all, don't quit McDonald's, y'all. Shoot, they just changed it to $22 an hour. Ooh.
That's marketing and advertising, I guarantee.
That's what they changed it to.
$22 an hour is still $44,000 a year.
Hey, for a kid or somebody under 27?
I find it difficult to believe that McDonald's is paying $22 an hour.
Well, I got friends who own McDonald's, so does that work for you, sir?
I would love to see.
For you?
I worked in.
Goodness gracious, we are not in the 60s. Okay,
I would love to see a payroll report.
We are not.
All McDonald's employees making $22,000.
We're not talking about all McDonald's employees, but they did create a standard.
Again, the outlier.
That was the purpose.
Operating with these outliers.
No, they create a standard. They wanted to increase the minimum wage in most places.
Decided to pay $22.
Plus, nobody was going to work.
Yeah, well, that's what happens. Supply.
I was never allowed to work at McDonald's, so I don't know.
It's giving elitist vibes.
No, it's giving. My grandfather said that was too much work for too little money. So
your grandfather was a smart guy. He knew the value. He understood value.
Yeah, he did.
But not all of us have that tutelage, that level of upbringing.
And that's why you have your show here.
Yeah, right? We're trying to help people. We try to bring people.
Even though you don't want to help everybody, you just want to help.
No, I want to help everybody. I'm talking about helping the cluster of folks that are suffering. And you bringing it back to the outlier examples of the people who made it.
I am bringing it back to, I've given you all examples. You have reduced my opinion and thoughts down to what you wanted it to be.
What I pushed back on was the notion that it's just, they should quit.
No.
When we talk about career transition.
My first response was, I transitioned for 7 months, took on clients, did all of these things, had some money in the bank, saved,
Had some money in the bank.
right?
Had
That
a
was
corporate
step
job,
one.
Had an education.
I also
had
became
all of
I
these
also
other
became
things.
a
Think about
I also
think
became
about
a
what you're saying,
president of a
though.
territory.
But what I'm saying is,
And guess what I did?
About,
I said, fuck this job. I quit.
think about what you're saying in relation to regular people. That's not regular.
Okay.
That's not a regular life.
Right.
But
But
meet
what you're
somebody making $15 an hour.
You
The
got
same
student workers
scenario.
right now, right?
Yeah.
With families and all of that type of stuff. You go through that right now. You have employees. I have employees. People that's going through this right now that can't transition and they're miserable. I have friends that are miserable. And I have friends with degrees that are miserable at their job for a variety of different reasons. So that's why, I've seen these scenarios up close and personal. And that's why I say it's not just, quit. Do this. Do
it's
that.
not
There
just
is
that.
a
That's not what
strategy.
I said. But I did say that some people need to fucking quit. The reality is that most people should transition. They should find a time
all
to
have
There
transition.
has to be a there has to be a transition.
There should be.
See, we
right?
agreed.
But
Let's start with this. So let's
case,
talk about
but
the-
in the
all I'm saying
case,
is let's
in the
talk
case
about the
of
transition.
mental health and the lack of progression,
I think mental health is just
People
I
are
hate
jumping off
this
the
is why it's like
building
everybody's
and losing
pushing
their
this
families.
therapy, pushing this mental health narrative,
Oh, boy,
pushing
here we
this is
go.
some new age shit.
no, it's
No, it's
not.
not.
Let me
My
tell you
grandmother was a
something.
therapist.
Let me tell you something. We are
My grandmother was
descendants
an
of I'm banging my hurt
LCSW.
hand.
She was born in 1932.
We are descendants of slaves. The people have had it the roughest of the roughest of the roughest in life.
We know that.
You think slaves didn't have mental health problems?
Yes, they did.
Yeah,
You
I'm
think,
sure of it.
you think your parents and your grandparents and all these people?
Oh, I'm sure of it.
So we cannot just throw the wet blanket of mental health over everything.
No, but we
as
need
a-
to prioritize it.
You pick and choose what part of the conversations you want to talk about, because that's not. I literally just gave you a whole scenario of me transitioning, right?
Yes.
Right. Then
You
I gave you a
said-
scenario.
you said-
Then I gave you a scenario
But you
of
said
the reality
in
is that some
relation to
people
their
can't
mental
progress.
health, and I get that in relation to your mental health being paramount. Woo, great. Your mental health is paramount. I'm in this fucking zen-like
I
mode.
cannot wait to go to
but
therapy, Jeff.
My rent is due. My kids are starving. They about to repo my car. I have no health insurance, and I need to find a place to live. You don't think those financial fucking things are going to really tear your
Obviously.
mental health down?
Obviously,
Yeah, they do.
we've already
So you're
addressed
going to be the
those.
dog chasing his tail.
No,
You're
you
gonna go
are
back
making
in the
that. You're
circular
making that
motion.
as though we didn't discuss that. We've already discussed that. You're
So
just adding
you-
20 on 10.
No, what you're saying is,
What you're
here's what I'm
saying
hearing.
is-
Here's what I'm hearing. And correct me if
right,
I'm wrong.
because you,
Okay, I'm listening.
Here's what I'm
Correct.
hearing.
clear your ears out,
Here-
because
let me fix these
something's going.
microphones.
I
Here's
know the
what I'm hearing.
elderly part is kicking in and everything, but did you wear your
I
hearing
love it
aids
here.
today?
I do this for the people. Like Jay-Z
Come on.
said, I do it for my culture. So my point is this. Those other things that are financially tied to your job, right? Your livelihood, your ability to take care of yourself. If you quit a job instantaneously today, and people quit, they're passionate, fuck this job, and they throw the straws up and walk out to Starbucks, right? And then they get home and they're like, oh shit. Because does the process of finding a new job or a replacement job, even something comparable or less comparable, there's a process to that also. You have to apply, you have to interview, there's a timeline to that. So you can't just like, oh, my mental health is suffering at this place of employment, let me quit. Because my point is, those other things that your paycheck helps you to do, that really helps in terms of stability in life, now that is in peril. So you don't think you're going to have even more mental health challenges now without a job than you would have with the mental health challenges and a job? That doesn't make sense to me. So
Obviously.
I'll step back and
Obviously.
take your commentary on that.
No,
We
you
already said
you
that.
already said this, but you are harping on that part of it. We already said this.
You told these people to quit. Quit. She's like,
guy
fuck
Not
here.
it.
everybody.
Not everyone. If there are certain people
This is why
that
we need percentages and scenarios.
then you
to
bring them
actually
next
bring
time. 'cause
context.
Everybody
do
can't
your
quit.
research next time, so you don't have to go through
But
this.
everybody can't quit, but everybody should always be looking to be better. To always
Right.
improve.
That's
That's
damn
it.
We just spent 30 minutes getting to
No,
the
not we,
foundational point. I wanted to get
You
to
and your
in the
orange
first
shirt.
place. You like my orange shirt?
Your orange sweater.
You like my blue hat and my orange shirt? You brought
It's
this
the
up
blue.
several
It's
times.
the cap. The cap.
Yeah, the cap and the sweat. Why you always talk about my clothes, man? Every time I come.
The cap.
It's the cap. All right. So how much time we got left?
None.
Oh my God.
3
This is why
minutes.
We can never get through a topic.
We didn't-
All right.
I
Let me
knew
show
it.
you. I did a lot of
I knew it.
what? That we weren't gonna get through the
knew
topic
it.
today?
Of course.
Because when I bring up a topic And I'm trying to set the stage for the topic and then ask a question for you guys to respond to.
Because you be trying to make your point so much where we already done made the point, and then we still talking about your point, and now it's time to go. Now you got to put your sweater, your what did Mr. Rogers, what did he put on? Now you got to change his top.
Put my cardigan on.
And put your cardigan on, and it's time to go.
Listen. Let me tell y'all. Let me give you some tips in our last 2 minutes. All right, let's each share a tip. Let's each share a strategy.
All right, yeah, my strategy.
Go ahead. What was yours? Go ahead.
Always be looking.
Always keep your
always be looking.
Head on the swivel. Keep your LinkedIn profile updated.
That on LinkedIn
gosh,
every
LinkedIn.
2 to 3 years.
You hate LinkedIn? What LinkedIn do to you?
It's just so it's
like
just so
Facebook.
corporate. I'm so tired of corporate America.
You have a disdain for corporate America.
It's oh gosh, I hate it.
When you get out, look, anybody trapped in a corporate trap, I'm with E on this one. This is where we do agree. When you get out of that bullshit, and it's like, you remember at the end of Shawshank Redemption when the dude ripped his shirt off and he got the bar of soap? That's kind of what it feels like to break the shackles of corporate America, especially Black in corporate America. We're gonna do a Black in corporate America show about that, because Black people in corporate America,
Black
oh my
women
god,
in corporate America is
Black women even tougher.
Ooh,
Shout out to y'all, man.
And then Black women in a higher position in corporate America.
Oh yeah,
boy.
Black men in corporate America, man, let you get some credentials and some letters by your name and some stuff.
And then you act different. You act different against your Black woman who is your counterpart. Oh, we could talk about
we're gonna do a whole show on Black in corporate America. That's a good show. It's a good show topic. Black in corporate America. We're gonna get some corporate Blacks up here, corporate Negroes, and we're gonna unpack all of this type of stuff. How we treat one another. How I won't say we, some of us don't build ladders and bridges. We choose to build walls. We feel like we can be the only Black in a certain position, so we build those walls, and we're worse than our worst oppressor in that sense in the corporate realm. So I've dealt with that also. It's a lot. It's a lot to unpack on that subject. So that's a great topic. We're gonna do that.
What were you gonna ask about relationships?
We're not getting into relationships today.
We're
talking about career. Yeah, that's a whole hour on relationships.
Oh, okay. You don't want to say what the topic was going to be?
No, we were talking about leveling up in relationships. If you don't have one, how to get one. If you have one, how to continue to grow in your relationship.
How you gonna tell somebody how to get a relationship?
I can easily tell somebody how to get a relationship. I give you some tips. Whether you choose to listen. In 2024, you can listen to me or not. You don't think I can tell somebody how to get a relationship?
We can listen to you or not.
Or not. Yeah, you got to choose. You push the off button. I don't care. I'm going to be okay. Either way.
Boy.
Listen or not. I'm not
about to be spicy.
I don't have a gun to people's head and say, take my advice.
To ours, you do?
No, I don't. I just you
just want it to come out your mouth. The same thing, like copy.
First of all, it's funny. Y'all can go back and listen to these shows, how y'all disagree with me, but wind up agreeing with me in the end.
We never disagreed. We said what we said, and you just reiterated the same thing we just said as though it was your own striking opinion.
It's not what I heard. Maybe it's the pain
that's
medication.
That's the elderly ear.
See, somebody want to crack
elderly ear syndrome.
I'll just be here to help the people week in and week out.
Listen, all of you, are we still giving tips?
We are giving tips, yeah. I was waiting on yours. She gave her tip. She said, stay up LinkedIn. We got on LinkedIn conversation because you said I hated LinkedIn and we started talking about corporate.
I don't even have a LinkedIn anymore. The station has a LinkedIn. I don't even have a LinkedIn anymore.
You don't want people reaching out to you?
No, don't be looking at my stuff.
Dang. Scrooge over here.
No, because I used to have to use freaking LinkedIn. I'm like, I hate this damn thing.
You just had always probably had a desire to be a boss. You'd be your own person.
Oh, I did. I've been my own boss.
There's nothing wrong with that.
My own boss. But at the same time, I just never liked LinkedIn.
Sorry for sniffling into the microphone.
I never really liked social media. Really? And then I get a job here.
Social media has gotten whack
social media
in this sense. Social media has gotten super whack in this sense that everybody wants to be this popularized influencer. Like I don't know social media. Social media used to be cool when people shared pictures of the dogs and the kids and the vacation and the families and the holidays and the birthdays and the going out, or you lost a little weight, you put on your little sheen dress, you want to show your booty cheeks. Like, that was cool. now social media is all about like what you can say and what you can't say, or do I post too much, or what these people gonna think. Like
Who
me,
cares?
I don't give a shit.
Do what you like.
Or
Yeah,
or
do
these
whatever
people
you
that try to put up these perfect pictures.
You
these
opened up
perfect
talking
Right,
about how
it's the
social
perfect
media
pictures for me.
skews life.
Yeah, it's the perfect pictures that I don't like.
Yeah.
Because I was looking at someone friend requested me or something, and I looked at their, and I'm like, all your pictures from a whole photo shoot?
Yeah,
Like every
with
one
the
of your
makeup
pictures.
on and all that.
I'm like,
Show me the mustard bottle on the counter
Yeah, social media is
in
not
the background.
reality. That's
Yeah.
Social media's got what?
It's not reality. You
No,
see
it
a
absolutely is
glimpse
not. Yeah, you see
or
Yeah.
10 seconds in somebody's life. That is not how life is for me.
Yep, that's what I said. I was talking about that earlier. Yeah, you don't know me.
No, I said
All right,
Did I give her tip or no?
you did not give your tip.
nope.
You told
You
people to
said
quit.
you hate
You have a
LinkedIn.
bunch of broke bitches out there. That's what you told
did
them.
not- I did
quit
not
and don't
tell
come to
everyone-
LinkedIn. That's what he
First
said.
of all, I did not
Quit. Y'all
tell
gonna be out
everyone
here.
to quit
Be your
their
own
job.
boss.
Be your boss. Boss up, bitch. You should quit.
to say that.
What you should do, you little crummy 90% bitches. Let me give Ease alter ego.
Are you gonna pop your lips like
Yeah.
you were earlier?
And what you should do,
'Cause I
you little
want you to
crummy
pop the
90% bitches, is boss up, quit your job, tell your boss, fuck that. Meet me at, we call 211, go to therapy, meet me down at Hot
Call 211. Call 211 is a last resort.
Go to
After
therapy
you-
and meet me down at Hot 7025.
Yeah, if the transitioning part of you you can't do that.
And then pay me for E-Class Consulting. I know you ain't got no money, but because you just quit your
I
job.
have sponsors that sponsor.
Oh, that's sweet. You have sponsors that'll sponsor.
entrepreneurs.
There you go.
Yeah.
Remember how we was talking about jobs?
We come
Yeah.
up with all types of tools
When they
and
be texting
resources
you on
to
the
help
weekend?
everyone be successful.
He
And
is,
you work
he is
Monday
y'all
through
girl,
Friday?
bro. I'm gonna tell y'all.
So my tip of
If
the
she
day.
had LinkedIn, I would tell you to, request her, but
I wonder if y'all got LinkedIn.
I
Yeah, I
got
I
got
wonder
LinkedIn.
if you can see my profile still,
I'm a
because I
little.
made it like I don't
Low-key.
know.
What'd you do to your profile?
Well, I guess you can like make it mute or something.
Visible? Oh, okay. Invisible.
But people still be trying to message me, so I'm like, how are y'all messaging me?
Because they trying to get to the yams, bro.
Not to the no.
What?
Not to the yams.
All right, give me a tip.
Wear condoms if you are
If you're out here fucking, wear condoms.
yes, and
You were talking about
say
relationship
no to
tips.
drugs.
Yeah. No heavy drugs. Yeah.
Don't do drugs.
Don't do drugs. And wear condoms.
Because I took some Tylenol, and
it laid you out.
man, I'm like, shoot, what if I did? And he come here talking about, how people's hands look when they do heroin.
Yeah, big heroin hands. Eat wasn't raised in the hood. If you raised in the hood, you don't crackhead and heroin.
I lived in the hood.
Crackheads, the skinny
I lived in the hood.
heroin addicts have big hands.
I lived in the hood, but the leader of the gang and the drugs, we were protected. I never saw drugs.
Oh, okay, got you. Well, I'm from the east
So
side of
to
Detroit.
this
So.
day, I do not know what cocaine was like.
Really? You got to watch Judge Mathis. He said, "I know a crackhead when I see one."
And I turned up. I was outside. I tell you,
You outside.
I definitely have paid for cocaine with my corporate card before, but I didn't know.
Wait a minute.
No, wait a minute.
Wait a minute.
You didn't bought crack on a credit card? You got points?
No. So I didn't
have a
realize.
natural
I didn't realize
allegiance
until
to
after
losers.
there's a certain bottle code that your guests will order, and it's actually cocaine.
What?
And they charge it.
Oh,
they
at
put
the
it on
club.
your
Yeah,
receipt.
got you.
I didn't know.
Yeah.
The whole time I'm just doing my extension
Yeah.
report as normal.
What kind of job was this?
No,
No,
clubs in Las
that's
Vegas are the
this
biggest
is real.
drug dealers.
This is real.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah,
I've seen that.
It's just, and they put it on your,
eyes.
they put it on your receipt as though you bought a bottle. So I'm thinking, I get the receipt. I just bought a bottle. Because sometimes we'll check in and go with the
Bought a bottle
client. We'll
already.
check in, go with the client, give him our card. We leave. They run the card. We pick up the receipt the next day, or
He's
they
a
send
drug
it to
dealer.
us.
What in the what?
But I've never seen it before.
Be a fly on
I'm
the
your
wall.
mama. I'm your daddy. I'm the egg in.
I have never knowingly, just for the FBI, I have never knowingly
Pushing back.
purchased any drugs.
If y'all
I'm
need to
just a
find her,
guest.
she on
I am just a
LinkedIn.
guest. I got kids.
Listen, you got a fan
I've
coming
never-
down here.
No, because I ain't know.
Stop.
I still don't know if that was
Stop
really the
telling your
case.
drug dealing stories on the radio, okay?
You know what? I really probably could be a really great drug dealer.
How so? How do you feel you have the chops to be a really great drug dealer? If this was an interview, I'm about to hire you to sell crack.
Not crack.
Oh, now we're getting interview skills?
Yeah,
Okay.
So what do you think?
Cheap.
Oh, you're all right, Whitney. You want to sell the high-end drugs.
I'm not going to sell no crack.
Okay, what would you sell if you had your drug of choice to sell?
I don't know. FBI be watching.
Out of it.
FBI be watching. The CIA be watching us. We be talking about y'all presidents.
I know. Oh, yeah.
Real bad.
Oh, these white people about to lie to us again. Oh, my God. Can we stop doing that? It's election season. So y'all watch your next.
First of all, it's election year. And there's going to be a lot of false information that's going to come out. And it's going to be a lot your
stuff off social media.
This year is about to be a hell of a year.
Oh, let me talk about this horrible Negro, Tim Scott, real quick.
Oh my God,
Tim Scott. Drop the music for dramatic effect.
First of all, he is trash.
You see, you brought up politics, man. I didn't want to do this. Tim Scott, I'm just his brother to nigga light over here.
We ain't calling him brother.
I said brother to nigga light.
Oh, still.
Yeah. My man, your grandparents, your ancestors, they're people that hung and swung from trees, my man, my brother. Like, the money ain't worth it. The profile ain't worth it. Your integrity, man. You selling your integrity. The whole, I just love you to Donald Trump. Bro, listen. Let's just listen to me. Just let me hug you, man. Let me put my arms around you and bring you from the dark side, man. You are playing yourself. You saw this with Herman Cain. A couple months later.
Didn't he die?
Exactly. You saw this with Herman Cain. You saw this with the My African Americans back here. You saw this, man. And what was the guy, Paris Denard, that was all over CNN or Dennard or whatever the fuck his name was? Like, stop being used by your oppressor. We understand Trump's end game is a money grab for him. Salute to him. You got the greatest hustle in the room. You stole a country. You're the greatest grifter alive. All right, we give you that. We give you that. Like, yo, you game recognize game. Hustle, do your thing. But when people are playing themselves to be a part of that orbit, and they're doing it on TV and knowing that they have ancestors, they have fathers, they have grandfathers, people who hung and swung from trees, you know, for you to live the life that you live right now, you're just the most disgraceful black man out here in these streets, man. And you're joining a long list of suckers, and it doesn't end well. Know your history. You can turn the music back up. That's all I want to say. Know your history. Know your history, Mr. Scott.
He doesn't.
He's far gone. There's no saving him.
So we set him free.
Y'all set him free because he got that white girl.
We set him free before we even knew anything about the white girl.
He's just down, man. What's wrong with this dude? What's the dude that was in Kentucky with I forgot his name, the son-in-law for the giblet face dude. He was another black dude that was part of the whole Republican orbit, bootlicking for Trump. Blacks for Trump, man, wake up. What's that end? They play that School Days, wake up, like for real. It's the first time it was a little chuckle funny, like a novelty thing. Now, fast forward, y'all still doing this nonsense, man. What's your problem? Why do y'all hate yourselves? The little girl with her edges always messed up. What's her name? She gonna come out. Candace Owens, the girl with the bad edges.
Candace oftentimes does have some great points.
Candace is the female Jason Whitlock on Slim Fast. She's the most self-hating Negro I've ever seen in my life. Her and him. We gonna do a whole show on self-hating Negroes. Yeah, yeah. Candace Owens and Jason Whitlock, and this dude Tim Scott. They're the leaders of the self-hating.
And Candace is a troll, an
she
intentional
is.
troll.
Yeah.
She's an intentional troll. Tim.
He far gone. They would be a hell of a power couple, though. Tim Scott and Candace Owens should have gotten. Is she married to a white dude? Was she married to?
I think so.
Oh man, y'all should switch. Y'all should couple swap.
She's purposefully trolling
because she has no talent. That's why. So she trolls other people of higher profiles or public profiles so she can make a name for herself. It's all a hustle.
Right.
She has a great hustle.
That's what I'm saying.
Like, what the fuck would she do? How would she make money?
He has no other choice. That's just who he is.
I'm sure Tim is an educated man. He can probably go.
To do with him making good decisions.
But what I'm saying is he can go and make money doing other things. I don't see a man of intelligence. Well, maybe
This was his calling.
That's it.
this was it. This was
White
it.
ass.
Yeah, both of those. We got Whitlock, we got Candace Owens, we got Tim Scott. Who else? We need like a top 5 self-hating Negro list.
What's the dude from Good Morning America that just left with the snow bunny?
Can I put Clarence Thomas on the list?
Clarence Thomas is definitely on the list. That's a great
He
ad.
smoked
yeah.
crack though,
Clarence Thomas
Oh,
is on the
Lord.
list.
so
Clarence
he
Thomas
doesn't
on crack?
get a discount. Yes,
Oh, I didn't know he was a crackhead too.
you can't. Are you serious?
I didn't
follow
know
the
this
Clarence
either.
Remember
Thomas.
he got caught in the hotel?
No, that was
Oh.
Marion Barry. Clarence Thomas, Supreme Court Justice. Clarence Thomas. Yeah, the Uncle Ben's looking Negro.
Well, all right,
Yeah.
my-
Yeah,
my
you
brain
confusing
just went-
yourself hating Negroes.
They
See,
about to
this is why we need a list. We need a list.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Clarence
that's
is
Marion
trash.
Barry. I was
Yeah,
like,
don't
oh,
even
Clarence.
know how I got
I
that.
was like, damn, he must be really kissing white folks' ass. They
I
must
don't
be a
know.
Supreme Court Justice and a crackhead. 'Cause they took that mayor shit right away from Marion Barry. They was like, all right, bro, that's enough.
Man, goodness gracious.
Okay, we're gonna do our. If you are out there, give us a list. Send it in. Ping them on LinkedIn for me.
Don't be me. Don't be, I ain't there.
The list
But you
of
can follow me on
self-hating
all
Negroes.
other social media platforms at eCurry.
All except for LinkedIn.
I mean, you could probably find me there. I'm not gonna reply. What are you looking for? People sending me jobs.
For you to apply to? They want you to quit?
They're recruiting.
Oh, yeah, I get recruited over LinkedIn often.
No,
Also.
hard pass.
Yeah, no, I like the ones where they send you the message. Hey, Ardie, like they know you.
Yeah.
That shit, it bubble up. Like, whoop. I'm like, who's this?
For me, it'd be the ones I really did know.
Oh, really?
And I'd be like,
Well, I mean, you on top of somebody's mind with regard to
which I appreciate.
I would rather
I
you
appreciate
call
that
me
I
with a
left
bag of
them.
money attached to the conversation and call me with a bag of bullshit.
I knew you were gonna say that.
Yeah. So you know me. You know me. You know me well. All right, Saints. Till next week. We can come back and talk about relationships. This
Hopefully.
dynamic and robust conversation. If we were able to
It'll be
give
February.
you some tips or a tip on leveling
Did I
up
ever give a
career
tip? I don't even remember.
You didn't
You
give a
did.
career tip. Oh, you
I
told
Yeah,
me
I
quit.
said wear a condom
Where
Yep.
that was relationships.
Don't do drugs.
and
That's
don't
not
do
correct.
drugs.
Don't do
Yeah,
drugs.
'cause crack
Okay.
is
You're gonna
whack.
file a
If
drug test
I
for
could
the
give
job.
you, let me tee up.
Don't do drugs.
Let me tee up the boss of all bosses tips in terms of relationships. I got to quantify my shit, baby. Here's what you do with relationships. Here's how you find one. Work on yourself first.
Yes, go to therapy.
mental health.
Work on your see how they co-sign.
Therapy.
I told you the boss of all bosses tip. You cannot be a part of a great we if you're not a great me.
And that's why mental health is
And that's why you need to go to therapy.
license
Ardie.
therapy.
Angel
Thank
just
y'all
got his
for
wings.
tuning in.
He just got another
Artie's gonna
commission
have an
check.
appointment scheduled by
And
his
the
next
angel,
show.
can I get credit for my tip?
By the next
Y'all
show.
like my tip?
No, we're good.
You ain't like my tip?
How do you work on yourself internally? Like, how do you?
To present yourself for a
Yeah.
relationship? How do you work on yourself?
Because there's a lot of people
Be-
that don't know that they have issues.
Yeah, I'm gonna
internally.
say simply, be what you seek. Be what you seek. So if you seek, a solid person with a certain level of attributes, make sure you have those first. So you're not out here grasping at things that you are not projecting yourself. Bars.
Can't wait till you
Get me on the
book that
concept.
appointment.
What's that?
So we'll see.
So you can tell me.
We don't know what they're gonna tell you.
I know,
That's between you and your therapist.
I'm gonna walk out of that bitch with a gold star on my forehead.
I
They
hope
like,
you
ooh.
They give those stars.
I hope you do.
They gonna be like, ooh, you should be a therapist. And an angel gonna get his wings.
There you have it. There you have
Until
it.
then, y'all be good, eat good, live good, wear a condom, don't quit
Don't
your
do
job,
drugs.
don't
Don't
do
quit your
drugs,
job unless it's killing you. If it's killing you, quit that
don't
fucking
quit
job.
your job unless you have another source of income to replace that source of income.
Transition yourself.
Transition
as I stated.
carefully. Yes.
But also, if the job is killing you, fuck them people.
I do like the way you said that.
What's that?
Fuck some people.
Fuck them people.
For reals. You will get another job.
I agree, somewhat.
Bye.
See y'all next week.
Deuces.